Alright, so I already played 2.5 hours of this game and I deleted the videos, so we're starting over. Whew. Um, yeah, so I don't know if there's value, like if there's sound to this game for you guys. It's not showing up in my OBS that the sound is picking up, and I've tried everything, so. But when I play the videos, sound plays in the background, so I'm gonna just give it a shot. And if it doesn't work, oh well. All right, let's get into it. Also, dogs might bark. I have doggies, so they do a lot of barking. So apologies for that if that bothers you. So how are the preparations looking? Perfect. All the participants are on their way. Everything should be set in stone and ready to go. And you're certain all the participants are trustworthy? You need to relax. How many background checks have we done now? At this point, we could possibly guess what everyone had for breakfast this morning. We've been portrayed before, so I don't want to take any chances. Well, that's on you for picking people with shaky resolve. Shaky resolve? After you threatened them? Allegedly threatened them. I already told you I didn't have a hand in it. That's enough. I don't want to deal with any more bickering or squabbling. We've done everything we can. It's all out of our hands now. I want no spectacles, no outbursts, and absolutely no repeats of what happened last time. Is that understood? Yeah. You blow up one time and no one lets you forget about it. Well, we had to do a lot of work to cover up what you did. What did I just say about bickering? Sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna just close my eyes and rest easy. After all, we got a long day ahead of us. How was she able to sleep like that? Hey, Devin, wake up. Hmm? Are we there yet? I think we're close. The driver hasn't spoken a word since we left. But they said we were just on a strict schedule, right? More importantly, how are you sleeping at a time like this? What? It's early in the morning. We left at midnight, and I figured that it'd be a perfect time to go get some sleep. I don't need to ruin my sleep schedule by staying up to 4 a.m. when I could be catching some Z's right now. Don't tell me you've been awake this whole time. You're going to be a zombie by the time we get to wherever it is that we're getting to. I wouldn't have had to stay up all morning if you had been awake. Hey, this was your idea, wasn't it? I don't know why you're freaking out. I just feel like something's not right. Well, it's probably too late to do anything about it. But if you want to talk it out, maybe that'll make you feel better. I wish I could be as calm and collected as you, Devin. It's an acquired skill that I've honed with practice. My head's starting to ache, so let's just try and run through the basics. Sounds good to me. Where are we going? So, where are we going again? Good question, but I haven't got a clue really. You don't have any idea where we're going? Why are you asking me that like I know better? Let's see. Well, I remember that this shady guy said he was going to take us somewhere, and he didn't say where it was. For all I know, it could be a football stadium, it could be a casino, or it could be a graveyard. It could even be a boat. It'd be a fun surprise for sure. That's not as reassuring as you're making it out to be. Well, I'm just trying to make the most out of an uncertain situation. Besides, it's not like were kidnapped or anything. We chose to go, and we were given plenty of opportunities to back out. I know, why is this place so far away? No idea. But they didn't tell us it was going to be a long, that they did tell us it was going to be a long drive until we got there. All I know is the location is called Clover Gate. I know. I tried looking up the place near here with the same name, but I didn't see anything. Must be one of those inside terms. Maybe it'll just be a big meadow full of clovers. Doubtful, but I honestly rather would take that than some other options you listed. Well, we'll find out when we get there. Until then, no point in fretting about what it might end up being. Yeah, I guess you're right. How did we end up here? Oh man, you must really have been had some bad sleep deprivation. Deprivation if you can't remember all that. See? Okay. I can give you a little spark to get you to remember. Your mom got really sick and all the doctors said they couldn't figure out what was wrong with her. So you started getting worried. You got desperate and started looking for any treatment center that would help her out. And then you came across some group called the Digits of Eden or something like that. Yeah, it's clicking in my head now. They said they had a cure for the ailment. You know, advertisements that like that are usually scams, right? Like 99.9% of the time. I know that, but I checked a bunch of reviews. All the comments were positive and all the information seemed legit. Still sounds like a scam to me. Maybe they got some good reviews to blow up their ratings. It happens all the time online. I mean, it is suspicious that despite having such good reviews, you have to scour the dark web to find a single mention of them. It, okay, it was sketchy. But I had to give him a chance. I was at the end of my rope. That's what you told me, and then you entered into some kind of raffle, and then you won a trip to one of the treatment centers, and as a fate, you would have it, you won. And now we're driving to that treatment center, though they never really gave us a location or description as to what it looks like. Right. Fast forward to today, and now we're on our way over there. If this is really a scam, it's really a dedicated one. You know, isn't it weird how they're taking you to the treatment center and not your mom? I was just thinking that. I was like, girl, shouldn't they be taking the mom, not us? They said that it was an imperative that I was the one who showed up if I wanted to help my mother. Sounds suspicious to me. All this, maybe they're going to hold us hostage for a ransom. Don't say that. Chill out. It's probably not that. Like 99% sure that it's not that. I mean, okay, if it were, they sure as heck chose the wrong people to try to get a ransom out of. We both know we're not exactly loaded or related to any rich folks. Unless you've been holding out on me for years. Is that it, Clyde? Have you been skimping on me, sharing your royalty money with me? Devin, do you know how ridiculous you sound? Of course I don't have any gold bars hidden away anywhere. Then it's probably not ransom. You should rest a while you can. If only, Devin, if only. How are you feeling? So how are you feeling, Devin? Sleepy but slightly refreshed. If I got a few more hours, I think I'd be ready to go. That's not what I meant, Devin. I mean, like, are you okay with all this? With coming along with me? Well, I'd prefer not to spend my Sunday getting into a mysterious truck and driving for hours somewhere. But it's definitely not the worst thing around. And you said this thing needs a partner, right? That's what I was told. Well, it was a no-brainer then. I'm not going to leave you hanging in your mom's treatment in on the line. Besides, it might be fun. I just didn't want you to feel like you were pressured into this or anything like that. Oh, please, Clyde. You're like the one of the least influential people I know. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Not really, but it sounded better in my head. Gee, thanks. Besides, a dishwasher and a line cook from a pizzeria are the perfect dynamic duo for this kind of road trip, aren't they? Imagine what kind of shenanigans we'll get into. Ideally, none. You got no sense of adventure. Don't you get tired of washing dishes all day? This might be a really fun break, the kind that, you can write a book about or spot on the obituary page on the local newspaper. As someone, or at least somebody will read it. Boundless optimism. Still, I guess it's better than one of us going in this with a good attitude, I guess. Just as we finished speaking, the truck came to a sudden stop and the driver craned his neck to look over at us. We're here. Oh man, I didn't get to finish my nap. We'll get a chance to sleep on the way back. I guess, but I'm still feeling drowsy. Walking around will wake us up a little, right? I'd say so, but it's not like we've got any other choice. The doors to the truck opened, and Devin and I hopped out. Looking around, it appeared that we were standing in a large field of clovers. In truth, it's a rather pleasant place, illuminated by soft torchlight. But what's concerning is the large crowd in the distance. I couldn't see them clearly through the darkness, but there was a whole lot of them, more than I could count. For a place called Clover Gate, there's sure a lot of clovers, but not a lot of gates. Aren't you more concerned that this place doesn't look anything like a treatment center? Not even like a facility to get drugs or something? Maybe the clovers are magical and their powers only work during the full moon. You don't actually believe in that garbage, do you? Well, you never know until you try. By all means, stuff your face full of grass. I'll be waiting to see the effects. Don't tempt me. You know I'll do it. But hey, there's a ton of people over there in the back. Can you see them? Barely. They're practically silhouettes. I can't even really make out anything about them. Spooky. Well, we haven't been gagged or cuffed yet, so we're probably still safe. Stop trying to scare me when I'm already on the edge. Then take a nap. The Cloverfield here looks really comfy. I'm not taking a nap in the middle of nowhere when we're surrounded by who knows what. You're lost. Those clovers look super soft. Devin turned over to our driver, who leaned against his car. Hey, bud. You sure you got the right place and didn't drive us somewhere to some campsite? Doesn't seem like a... Where did you say we were going? A treatment center. Yeah, what he said. Just wait, it shouldn't be long. Well, that's not ominous whatsoever. I tried, Clyde. Looks like we're just gonna have to wait. You gave up pretty quickly. Well, what's the girl supposed to do? Interrogate him? He said to wait, so we might as well. I suppose so. I kind of wish we had some coverage here. Yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere, aren't we? Yeah, but I guess we ought to just wait. Though we didn't really have to wait long, we ended up meeting with a bunch of other people who didn't seem to be a part of the larger crowd. There were a few pleasant chats and some not so pleasant ones. But as time passed, we were all called together for some kind of meeting. I watched eagerly as four of them began to walk towards the center of the field, as the entourage followed close behind bearing a variety of equipment. Each of them wore an eerie mask, like something out of a Greek comedy. Though with a brief glance I could see that the masks were numbered 1 through 4 and each had a designated color: gold, blue, white, and green, respectively. A small crew began to settle up torches while others started erecting a small stage with microphones and speakers. I would have been impressed at how quickly everything was set up if it didn't look like they were preparing for some kind of odd ritual. Hey, if they start asking for human sacrifices, I think we could run into the woods to escape. Tempting, really tempting, Devin, if not for the fact that there's at least a few dozen people surrounding the place. Hey, we could probably take them, or at least like two of them. I don't think we would make it very far. Shh, I'm trying to listen in on what they're saying. I wanted to snap back at the guy, but my curiosity got the better of me. As of all the new arrivals were herded to this area in the stage, I found myself eager to hear what the masked individuals had to say. Soon enough, the person in the gold mask brought a microphone up to his face. Good morning. It's wonderful to see you all here on this fine day, the 40th anniversary of the Digits of Eden founding. Some of you may know me as the founders of the Digits of Eden, others may simply know me as the first. Some of you may not know me at all. Right here, right now, what matters is not me, but you. Before me stand 16 participants, 16 individuals, 16 chosen ones who shall forge their own destiny in a game set to shape their lives and deaths of others. Lives and deaths? There's a pause as the gold masked man seemed to look us over even for a moment. Some of you I recognize and others are newcomers. A few of you are here today because you have performed your duties of the Digit of Eden well and now allowed to participate in one of our most sacred blessings. Others may have been referred to this place by some of our other members in good standing, a gift which we hope you'll one day repay us for when the time calls. And others may be simply here because of fate, a design of beings we cannot comprehend. Nevertheless, we accept your presence here for the most holy and mystical of events. Regardless of your origins, you might have found yourself here for one reason or another. And we hope that you shall enjoy the game of fortune with all your body and soul. Game? The game of fortune? What the heck is this? No one ever mentioned some game of fortune. I shall now pass the instructional duties to the second. Please pay proper attention for all that you will be instructed on our logistical procedures, regardless of whether you're familiar or unfamiliar with the game of fortune. The gold masked man stepped back and the blue masked woman moved forward. At 4:44 a.m. exactly, this clover field will shine bright and a blue door will appear. It's only big enough for 2 people to enter at a time. Each of you have been assigned a partner or have been instructed to bring a partner with you. You must hold hands as you pass through the light, or you shall not be able to pass through the divine realm. The divine realm has strict rules, one being that 16 participants must enter through the clover gates within 4 minutes. As such, we will carefully but swiftly usher each of you into the gate once it's opened. There will be no need to push, shove, run, or fight. There is no benefit or penalty associated with the order in which you enter. You shall also be patted down for weapons and other illegal items before entering the clover gate. The divine being does not like things such... Well, I'm tired. The divine being does not like such things being brought into her realm and issues punishments for those attempt to sneak things in. Additionally, you may bring electronic devices with you. Their functionality will be extremely limited. However, the Divine Ruler has never disallowed them, and thus, if you wish, you may bring them along. Finally, as a general piece of information, all clothes, accessories, and items on your person will carry over with you in the Divine Realm. As long as there are no weapons, the Divine Ruler shall permit you to bring them along, and you need have no fear of losing them. After all of our explanations are complete, you shall be given a brief moment to ask questions as well as retrieve any items that you may have left in the trucks that transported you here. After all, we separate you into your pairs and prepare for Clover Gate to appear. With that said, the third shall now go on with our approved guidelines. The woman with the blue mask stepped back, while the white masked man stepped forward. As per our traditions of the Digits of Eden, you shall have completed freedoms to play the games however you fit. so long as it pleases the divine ruler of the realm. However, we do have some customary rules which we shall now go over for the both new and returning participants. The first is that none shall bring any permanent harm to any member of the Diligence of Eden without prior consent of our four leading members. You know who you are. If you have such permission, ignorance will not be tolerated as proper defense. If you are found to have permanently injured, killed, or removed mythical divinity and any Digits of Eden members, you will be punished accordingly. For those who do not know the Digits of Eden, this simply means that you are not to make any wishes that we would likely not approve of. Use common sense if you have to. Moving on, some of you have been given tasks. You are to obey those tasks to the dot. If you return with your task unfulfilled, without sufficient reason, you will be punished in accordance with our laws immediately. So, don't try to weasel your way out of your jobs. Do whatever you have to ensure that our will is done. Aside from that, you're free to wish whatever it is that the divine ruler allows. The fourth will now finish up with the hymn of the fourth divine. The white masked man stepped back and the green masked man approached his microphone. For those unfamiliar with the hymn, simply hum along. He cleared his throat and began before bringing his arms up. I couldn't be bothered to actually listen in. This was ridiculous ceremony after all. The crowd, on the other hand, while modest in size, they seemed to grow louder and louder with each verse, forming a zealous chorus that made me want to shrink down to the size of an ant and skitter away. Hey dude, I'm seriously getting some bad cult vibes here. Oh, what gave you the idea? Was it the torches or the weird song people are raving about? Hush, we're almost done. That concludes our ceremony for the game of fortune. We roughly have 10 minutes left before we shall make any final preparations. Are there any questions that you would like to have answered? Are there any questions? I have so many that I can't choose what to ask first. Who is the fourth divine? What are the Digits of Eden about? What is the game of fortune? I was ready to raise my hand to get one of my questions answered, just one, so I could wrap my head around any of this. But before I could have the chance, a man's hand immediately shot up. Yeah, was any of this necessary? There's a moment of silence before the green masked man composed himself. Of course, do you think otherwise? Well, if the gate is going to open at exactly 4:44 a.m., why do we need any of the other chanting bullcrap stuff? Tradition mostly, we never asked you to participate, but that you listen respectively. You're free to go on your merry way after all this is done. It just seems a little odd to me who made you able to choose who who made you able to choose who could participate in this game? Shouldn't it just be first come, first serve? Why all the showmanship and ceremonies when all we had to do was walk through a gate? Another palpable silence. I couldn't tell if he was trying to incite something or if he's genuinely curious as to why we have to do all this. Eventually, the white masked man spoke up, taking control of the situation before things got more awkward. Simple, we do it for the sake of order. Don't be mistaken, the Fourth Divine did not lay our rules out on who could or couldn't participate. Well, not completely anyways. But you can imagine a free-for-all of people trying to drag themselves through the gate, such as madness would doubt rub her the wrong way. And thus we have decided that it would be best to simply take control and choose who would participate based on our own internal factors and decision making. Is that a satisfying answer for you? Well, not really, but it answers the question, I guess. I've got a question. How are you going to be able to tell who's acting against the interests of the Digits of Eden? Have you some kind of spy on the inside or something? Some way of chatting with people in the realm of the divine or whatever? We have ways of cross-checking people's actions through the realm of the divine. Though you shouldn't have to worry about that if you're not going to do anything against us. I just don't want to get blamed if someone else does something stupid, but if you got a way to ensure that we'll be fine, then do whatever you need to do. You have no reason to fear. Any other questions? We aren't going to be in any real danger, are we? In another brief moment of silence, the four masked leaders looked at one another before the one in the gold mask stepped back up to the microphone. No, absolutely not. No one that has ever participated in the game of fortune has been killed or injured. The game may be mentally taxing and may exhaust one's spirit, but the bodies always return whole, if that is to alleviate your understandable fears. If there's one thing I can tell you, it's that we won't let any harm come to you, so as long as you don't bring any harm to us. His answer was so sincere, so honest, and despite everything else going on, despite how unsettling this all was, I didn't get the feeling that he was lying. It was enough to melt away my other fears for a moment, like I had shed some skin and would now be ready for the brave whatever it was that would be thrown at me. Maybe that's foolish, or maybe it's just my body trying to force myself not to go into panic mode. Whatever it was welcomed. If that's all, you have about 5 minutes to gather any items you wish to take with you. You would be patted down before being escorted to the right location for the Clover Gate. That is all. May you have fortune with fortune. You doing all right, Clyde? Well, this is probably as good as I'm going to get. If they're being honest about how we're not actually going to be any serious kind of danger, then I suppose we got no choice but to believe them. So there's some relief in that, I guess. Well, there's always the running option if you want to take your chances with that. They've got trucks and probably a crowd of guards on standby. True, but I'd rather take those odds than something else. If we get thrown onto some kind of ritualistic altar, they said that there'd be some kind of door, right? Yeah, let's. Oh, sorry for hitting the mic. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's hope it's a physical door, not some metaphorical thing that requires us to give up our souls or some spiritual bullshit like that. Yeah, it would be bad if we lost our souls. If we survive this whole thing, you're going to owe me big time. That's fair. This has been a whole lot. On the bright side, there'll be a nice story to tell other people. The time I was deep into some weird cult that'll turn some heads for sure. And there was the boundless optimism again. Even when things were tense, she couldn't help but look for the silver lining. But I guess that was for the best, wasn't it? One of us needed to stay positive, and the other one had to remain skeptical. So, you got everything you wanted? Didn't bring much, just got my phone and wallet. What about your bag? You got anything in there? Some snacks, but that's about it. You? Nothing, didn't think I needed to bring anything other than my phone with me. Guess that means I don't need to worry about bringing anything illegal with me, right? Probably not. I'm more curious about some of the other people. Some of them definitely went back to their trucks to pick stuff up and drop stuff off. Well, guess the Fourth Divine doesn't appreciate when people are packing heat, huh? For all of our sake, let's hope none of them are. As our conversation is continued, we and other participants were organized out into our pairs. They gave us a pat us down, then checked our belongings to make sure none of us were carrying weapons. After that, Devin and I were escorted out towards the center of the field with the other pairs lined up 2 by 2. Everyone was holding hands as instructed, which made things more than a little awkward, but not for the reasons that you'd expect. Clyde, your hand is all sweaty, and yours isn't? Out of the two of us, who do you think is more nervous? Don't use that kind of logic against me. I'm just saying, maybe you should invest in some antiperspirant cream for your hands. I don't want to have to wipe my hands over my clothes just to get them dry. You think I want to be this nervous right now? No, but I'm the one stuck to your hand. Sheesh, how much longer do we have to wait? Didn't they say that this gate thing was going to happen at 4:44 a.m. or something? Pretty sure that's right. Why can't it be 4:44 p.m.? They've got such an obsession with that number, which is beyond logic. I'm not the one who leads this weird Digits of Eden thing. Why don't you ask them? Because I didn't feel like raising my hand during the question portion of their little seminar. And it seemed like a stupid question. Well, you're lost. I doubt they'll be answering anything now. The least they could have done is give us a pamphlet. Soon the crowd became restless, counting down the final seconds until the designated time. Looks like it's almost time. Oh boy, I'm so excited. We anxiously watched and waited as the count lowered. The air started to feel warmer, and a soft wind swept across the clover field. Faint blue sparks of light appeared, floating in the air like fireflies. Slowly they began collecting in the center of the field, forming a faint white and blue globe of light that shifted in the shape and form. In the same time, the countdown became more and more fervent, and cheers and chants continued to mix until the countdown grew closer and closer to zero. I could not read today. The blob of light molded itself into a door frame with a pale blue light shining out of the front door. The light's intensity grew and grew, similar to the volume of a crowd as it reached its climax of their chant, until that finally the countdown reached zero. Before I could comprehend what was truly going on, I watched as the first pair walked through the door, hand in hand. The light swallowed them, leaving nothing behind, and then the next pair went, and then the next, and then the next. Holy shit, is this real? I couldn't answer Devin as we were up next to enter the gate. There's only one way to find out. Shit, man, if I actually die from this, I'm gonna kick your ass. I ignored her nonsensical statement as I hesitantly walked forward, held my breath, and closed my eyes tightly, clenching Devon's hand in my own. Part of me expected that walking through this thing would be like walking through lava, that it would burn, that it would swallow me and force me to sink into a deep, agonizing pain. Instead, it was just a bright, overwhelming light, accompanied by the feeling of my breath being taken out of my chest. But it wasn't suffocating. It was like I didn't feel the need to breathe at all. It just felt like something was gently pulled from me. And then all white faded into darkness. My eyesight flickered for a few moments as I stared awake and my consciousness clawing itself back to the forefront of my mind. My first instinct was to sit up, rub the back of my head, and get my bearings. After a few blinks, things started to become clear. I could see that I was sitting in some kind of lounge. My memories slowly seeped back to me, and as I recalled everything that just occurred only a few minutes ago, and I looked around, and all I could see was the other participants either relaxing or just waking up like me. Hey, Clyde, you're finally awake. It didn't take long for Devon to catch my attention as she walked towards me and sat down. How are you feeling, bud? We just walked through a door of literal light. Well, I guess I feel fine, just confused. Light doors will do that to you, I'm told. You're still able to keep that wise, cracking mouth of yours despite everything, huh? Well, we're alive, I think so. I figure there's no reason not to keep cracking jokes. Well, you might be alive, but where the hell are we? And with that, guys, I'm going to take my leave there. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.